So Pitchfork have decided to piss everybody off and drop their own list of the best rap albums of all time. In fairness, putting a list like this together is no easy job. It's hard, it's difficult, you feel like you're missing things out. When you put them together, you're like, is it weird that I don't have that one beloved album? And then you're like, well, no, I should be just making my own list. And it does become a bit of a headache, so I get it. I really do get it. But with Pitchfork, sometimes I think they like to rustle some feathers. So I'm interested. I've seen some replacements already. I feel like I have some interesting things to say. I thought it was worth doing a video on. Obviously, it's all subjective opinions, whether or not, they are attempting to rage bait in some places, which they probably are, as Rolling Stone do every single time as well. Generally, it's opinions, okay? Apart from those little parts where they want to piss you off. Because those parts are real. I know it. I can see through it. So yeah, let's get on with it. Let's run down the list and talk about some of the interesting placements. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. Do you agree with this list? What do you think should be here? And yeah, I'm kind of half going in it blindly, so there will be some things I'm not going to expect. And yeah, let's go. To be fair, before getting into the actual list, this piece of art that they've put together here is sick. That looks really cool. That does look really cool. Fair play to them for that. Doggy Style kicks things off. I mean, yeah, sure. Not a lover of that album, if I'm being honest. I feel like it's one of those, though, if you didn't include it, you'd have people saying, you can't not include it, you don't know what you're talking about, but and all that kind of stuff. And sure, I'd probably be, reacting similarly if an album I loved wasn't there, but still. Doggy Style's just kind of whatever to me. I like Gin and Juice. Snoop's not really an album guy, honestly. I wouldn't really think anybody still would think Snoop in that way. He's more of an icon of the game. He's more of an icon of the image of hip-hop than he is a GOAT. I don't really ever understand when I see him on GOAT rapper lists or GOAT albums lists. I just don't get that. Anyone else agree, though? I mean, I'm starting pretty hot with what I think there. Doo-Wop Kane. I've heard a few Doo-Wop Kane releases. I've actually not heard this one, so I'll have to check this one out after. Foxy Brown. Okay, they're kind of throwing in some rogue picks to start things off. I mean, yeah, Keith LeBlanc. A couple of these I'm not even that familiar with. Lupe Fiasco with an absolute out of nowhere pick. This might be the only Lupe one that we see. That would be hilarious if it is. Honestly, shout out to them if they've really picked this one random Lupe release that rarely ever gets spoken about. That's crazy. That is crazy. When you could have Tetsuo and Youth, you could have Food and Liquor, I guess, as being an obvious one. That's rogue. That's rogue. But sometimes it'd be like that. A little bit for me, a little bit like how my favorite Boldy James album is his first one. To some people, that might be you're crazy. What are you talking about? But for me, that is that's probably the equivalent. Me putting that on a list like this when everybody would probably put Manger on McNichols, which is a really good album too. But that's probably the equivalent. Sexy Red, we gotta stop this, man. This overcorrection. Because they do this because they know people get annoyed at Sexy Red. And yeah, people do go overboard with Sexy Red. People do go way over the top with how much they don't like Sexy Red. I'm with that. I fully am aware of that. But then people are using that now as fuel to go the other way and act like actually, no, this is amazing music. It's we don't have to do that. You can enjoy this and you're okay to enjoy it. And people are okay to not like it, because honestly, it's really not that good. This is not GOAT material. And yet, we keep getting this with publications. They keep wanting to kind of push this, because again, they'll know it gets really, really heated when people go on about it. And it's we don't have to pretend. We really don't. We can stop. We can stop this, okay? Tyler, Creator Bastard. Again, similar to Lupe, if this is the only one you've gone with, you are insane. If this is the only Tyler rap you've picked out, you're crazy. You're crazy. You cannot be telling me, man. All of his other ones now should be on this list, basically, apart from Goblin. Because all of his other work completely, absolutely annihilates it. It's every Tyler fan agrees that now. Like, everybody who loves Tyler knows that this is not the peak of his work. This is like the equivalent to putting, like, I don't know, Vultures as the best Kanye album, or like the best Kanye album being Donda. Like, they're just obviously not. Like, let's not do this. It's silly. We'll see if there's more Tyler though. But if this is the only one, I swear to God, man, I swear to God. Gangstar moment of truth. Yeah, this is real peak 90s rap here, right here. Yeah, this is good to see this, because this again is starting to like fall out of the consciousness of hip hop. I feel like the more time goes on, the less I see people talk about Gangstar, and that is sad. They did try and come back a few years ago. I think it was like 2019 or 2020, and in fairness, it was really not a good comeback album, but their peak years are like absolutely top tier. This is really good stuff. I've switched sides if you don't mind, but yeah, Nicki Minaj, Beam Me Up Scotty, sure guys, sure. Let's move on. Mantronics, no, I don't vibe with this at all, and this is the thing that I don't think people are going to enjoy me saying. There should be very, very limited 80s hip-hop on a list like this. I know there will be people that do not like that, and I'm really not trying to annoy anybody, but genuinely hear me out here. There really shouldn't be 80s hip-hop on a top 100. We have moved so far on from the sounds and the rapping ability and the style that, yes, on an influence list, of course, include it. Include Rakim on an influence list, obviously. NWA, like, obviously influence is massive. And, if I have a soft spot for De La Soul, and maybe a few albums from the 80s could crack it into the top 100. Public Enemy, super influential as well. But in terms of the quality and the sound, I just don't think we need to include it. In terms of the like, if we're talking like the best of the best, I think a lot of it is super dated now. A lot of it is not the best it ever was. Like, it got better, basically, was what I'm trying to say. I'm rambling a little bit now, but yeah, it got a lot better. I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments. I'm sure we'll see more 80s releases, and I'm not going to get mad every time one comes up. And I'm not saying that 80s hip hop is not worthy or anything like that. Don't misquote me here. I'm not saying that. I just think in terms of like the best that we've ever heard, we have heard much better from the 90s onwards, is what I'm trying to say. V's, that's a rogue pick as well. I kind of wanted to like V's more than I did. But yeah, they're throwing in those little picks, aren't they? Gonna have that, what's his guy, RX Pappy, whatever he's called. He's gonna make an appearance here, isn't he? This is very Pitchfork to do that. Too short, sure, I guess. Principal on Thieves. Yeah, I love this album. Real big fan of what Principal was able to come up with here. I think it's really cool. Definitely a highlight for me of the 90s. Definitely worthy of being on a list like this, in my opinion. Of course, it is all just my opinion. I'm going to just skip through ones that I'm not necessarily having loads to say about, if you don't mind. The Far Side. Bizarre Ride 2. The Far Side, yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. I think their style was really fun, really quirky, really off-kilter, and also really like quality as well. I really like what they were doing. Again, Labin. I always say that one. That one with Running on it is also worthy of being on the top 100 in my opinion. I've spoken about Eminem before. I'm not going to go over it again. I think obviously again in terms of like talent levels and influence and everything, I get it. I think this would be one of those where it's like, if you don't have him here, you're crazy, and I probably would get called that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm always just a little bit like, whenever I see him pop up these days. I think also as well, like, you can really be fatigued by someone's newer material. Like, if they're completely like dropping duds over and over again, it can really mess with your mind on how you view them as an artist, because it's like, if you're constantly dropping something below par and showing us that actually your rapping ability is completely limited, it can mess with how I perceive him. Obviously, at his peak, he was really good, so it's hard to separate that because he's basically gone 15 years dropping nothing but mediocre or sometimes worse music. DJ Screw, I see why people like Chopped and Screwed, and I'm not mad at this inclusion, but I don't. Yeah, I've never really understood Chopped and Screwed as a concept, really. I think it's no, sorry. As a concept, I think it's cool. As in practice, I'm not really overly keen on it. ASAP Rock Labor Days, I would expect to see a little bit of that kind of like backpack indie rap stuff that they did used to really champion, because they've kind of strayed more into like loving the trap modern sound and the rage sound. Then they've kind of just neglected their side of hip hop a little bit. But ASAP Rock Labor Days, yeah, probably his best album. I'm not actually a massive fan of his more recent stuff. So if we're going to see any ASAP Rock, I am not going to get mad at Labor Days being here, because that is definitely his best work for me. Yeah, Public Enemy, okay, this isn't the one I was expecting to see, although we might see It Takes a Nation of Millions a little bit later on. I would assume so anyway. Oh, you know what? Chicken Talk? I've been sat here saying to myself for friggin' ages, I will do Chicken Talk. So a bit of a blind spot for me. I obviously know and are familiar with Gucci Mane, but the length of this one is just, I've just always been like, I want to sit down and play this today. And then I just end up running out of time, or I just end up listening to other things. I will do that one day. This is a nice reminder for me to sit through that and do it. Pop Smoke, Meet the Woo. Pop Smoke is not really fully for me. I don't want to say that because I think drill is really cool as a sound, but Pop Smoke, I'm not really that big on it, man. Made it to the top 50, and what a place to start, man. Chief Keef, Almighty So, what an album. Absolutely unreal sound that I just don't think has ever been replicated in the history of music. It takes listens, I'll say that. The first time I heard it, I felt dizzy. I was like, what am I listening to? But then you kind of become more adjusted to that sound that is coming through, and it just becomes an absolute like breath of fresh air. So as far as this side of hip hop that they're going to include quite a bit of, I'd imagine, on this list, Chief Keef is like the very best you can possibly get, honestly. Major influence too, like when you think about it, like hugely influential, and probably doesn't get that respect from like mainstream hip hop that he deserves. J Dilla Donuts, I mean, again, I haven't really been saying this throughout this video, but some of these really good ones that I've been highlighting genuinely could be higher, and I think J Dilla Donuts, bro, I don't like to get into this is 49 and this should be 43 and this should be 42 and then this should be 30. I think that's silly. But J Dilla Donuts, if you're going to pick out one that you think should be higher, this could be like top 20 all time. Genuinely, man. Yeah, what an album. What an album. Azealia Banks broke with expensive taste. I like the first sentence. Oh, Azealia, you could have had it all. It is so true. She probably would have been one of the main rap girls for at least a decade if she'd not become the person that she did. Because the talent there, I mean, this is actually a really good album. Like, again, there will be some people that will see this and similarly react like they did with Sexy Red. And again, female rappers do get that reputation, which is a bit of a shame. But genuinely, Azealia Banks is actually like really good when she was at it, man. Like, this is really top stuff. Would I put it top 50 all time? Absolutely not. Is it above Donuts? Obviously not. But yeah, I think this was a sign of what could have come if she just really focused and locked in and not become like a conspiracy theorist mad woman. Because yeah, it's a huge shame. Like, dare I say, like, no current rap girl can come close to her, honestly. You know, Nicki, never touching Azealia in my opinion. Megan, no, not a chance. Cardi B, probably even further away than those two. Like, yeah, genuinely really, really top tier stuff, but shame in it. Take Care, Drake. This being included in like the best rap albums of all time lists, because it often does, feels really forced. I hate saying that. I think when people like say that, it can be really irritating and annoying, but No, this does feel forced. Like, are we aware that probably more than anything, this is an R&B album, and yet they always want to shoehorn it into conversations. This is why Drake fans and the standum and the reaction that Drake gets causes people to really like get annoyed with him as an entity, because we don't have to pretend. Like, this is not a full-on rap album. And by the way, I will say consistent with this, because there is one iconic album that I will say the same thing about later on, which I'm assuming is going to pop up, and you probably can think off the top of your head what I'm talking about here. So I'm not just holding this for Drake. There are other iconic rap albums that aren't really rap, they're more R&B, and this is one of them, but it's just being forced into the conversation, and it's just not better than Donuts, is it? Like, it just isn't. Even if it were a full-on rap album, like Drake for an hour and 20 minutes is never going to be better than Donuts. Let's be serious. We had a really odd sea change with To Pimp a Butterfly, you know. It was like collectively agreed on release that this was truly something special and possibly one of the best rap albums we've ever seen and heard. And then all the publications, 10 years later now, because it's 10 years old, have kind of just like started like not really loving it as much as they did when it came out. I don't know if the opinions change or if it's just not cool to like this one as much as it is to like Damn or Good Kid Mad City, because they are cooler albums by the fact that they're way more popular, and the sound of those albums feel more contemporary, if that's the right word to use. But yeah, I don't know, there's just something really odd about the way publications have kind of like started to go, we'll push this a little. Like, it's like they feel like it's too obvious to bring it up. And maybe it is, but I think it actually is that good. I just don't think you can really not value it in that way. It just is as good as everyone says. But yeah, like I said, when it first came out, like the response was just like, wow. And then for about 5 years, it was like, wow. And then like the 2020s came and publications have just kind of started to go, maybe this one's too like obvious to like as much now. So we'll just start pushing Good Kid Mad City. Die Lit, I mean, again, this placement is so intentional. They know putting this kind of rap album with this kind of vibe and audience and scene, I guess, above something such that's considered like a marquee album. They know what they're doing. I'm not going to rise to the bait, but honestly, Die Lit is great, so I'm not mad at it. If I were making a top 100 albums of all time in hip-hop, I probably would include Die Lit near the bottom of the list. I don't think it'd be any higher than 80, though. So again, putting it above To Pimp a Butterfly is intentional in what they're doing here, but yeah, you can clearly see. Run DMC, yeah, again influence, but like Run DMC, it's fun for a few songs, but I don't know, man. I think by the end, it's like I kind of get it. Like you kind of get it. Yeah, Blueprint, kind of one of those unarguable albums, really. Although I'm assuming we're not going to see it, but I do think the Black Album's is best. I always find it a little bit surprising when it's always this one that's like considered the great one. When I've always liked Black Album more. I've always liked it more. Jesus, Kanye West, love it. Think it's great. It's completely bonkers and out of this world in what it's attempting to do. But yeah, again, like this is a problem now, because we've had Jay Dilla's Donuts at 49, we've had To Pimp a Butterfly at 44, was it? And my brain is now continually going, yeah, but should this be that high compared to those? And I shouldn't be doing that, because that's what these lists make you do. But it is hard to not shake that off, really. Black on Both Sides, Mos Def, love it, great album. Mos Def is one of the greats for me, easily, even though his discography is pretty short compared to maybe some of the other rappers that came up at the same time. But man, it's really top quality when you factor in like the Black Star album and his solo releases as well. There's only like one album in his solo catalog, I'd say that was pretty meh. But yeah, again, similar Jay-Z, people always say it's this one, but I'm going with the Ecstatic. Like, that won't be on this list, and I fully get that, but the Ecstatic is fantastic. Wow, some rap songs, 25. The picture isn't loading for some reason, but yeah, That's impressive. I didn't expect to see that. Some rap songs at 25 all time. I'm not mad, actually. I'm just shocked. I didn't think it would make it this high. That is insane. Was not expecting that. The aforementioned NWA naturally feels like it's like, oh, you got to have this one. But like, apart from the singles that everybody knows that are super iconic and super fantastic, Fuck the Police, Straight Outta Compton, great old timers in hip hop, 100%. And Express Yourself, I'll give to. Like, like, can people name any other tracks on this album? Like, the rest of it's just fine. Like, and when it's not Ice Cube rapping, it's like, I don't want to listen to it, man. Ice Cube was so far and away the goat of that group, man. It was like the gap was crazy. Slick Rick, Adventures of Slick Rick, again, feels like we're just like shoehorning in these influential classic ones that aren't actually that great. Like Children's Story, Old Timer, again, similar to the tracks I was just talking about. But the rest of the album, is it really that good? What's that Prostitute song as well? Like Slick Rick is kind of corny, honestly. Yeah. Biggie, unsurprising to see this is what I was trying to say there. I messed up my words. Yeah, it's I don't know, those sex skits, bro. Don't do it for me. This is the thing with lists like this, because if you didn't include this, because I wouldn't include this on a top 100 rap albums of all time list, if I'm being honest. I know my list would be very different, and there'd be people that would say, you ain't got taste, and yeah, I get it. And obviously, I'm outside the culture. I'm a British guy. Of course, I have a different perception of the genre. Obviously, that's all factored in. I get it. But yeah, like, I just wouldn't. Like, it's not an album that completely moves me and doesn't really blow me away, honestly. Oh, they do have De La Soul here. I assume we're not going to get the obvious De La Soul album. But yeah, this is actually a bit of an underrated one, so pretty cool to see this here. I think it's as good as 3 Feet High and Rising. That's the biggest compliment I can give this album, because it's not one you see people bring up, but honestly, I think it's about as good as that one. So that's some high praise, I think. Future, Dirty Sprite 2, yeah, I think pretty, again, obvious to be seeing that here, given Pitchfork's kind of like leaning towards this vibe of hip hop in the past 10 years or so. And honestly, yeah, fair play. Yeah, I'm not mad at this. I can't really get angry at that at all. Yeah, Raekwon, fair. Quite funny seeing Raekwon and Future sat next to each other, really. Public Enemy, Takes a Nation, a Million to Hold Us Back. Yeah, I mean, look, I was saying that thing about the 80s rap albums, but I think this and De La Soul are like 2 of maybe 5 that I wouldn't get mad at seeing on an all-time list. So fair. Yeah, Low End Theory, Tribe Called Quest, absolutely. Good Kid, Mad City has made it here. Yeah, okay, so we are claiming it's better than To Pimp Butterfly. Don't think I get that or see it personally, but it still would be in my like top 20 all-time anyway. So that's that's I can't get mad. Oh yeah, going back to Tribe 2. We got it from here. We got it from here, man. That's a top 5 all time for me. That's a top 5 all time. Notorious Big, yeah, B.I.G. Okay, yeah, again, yeah, sure. We're entering the top 10. We've only had Yeezus from Kanye so far. Just noting that in my mind, because is that the only Kanye album we're gonna get? That's a rogue pick if that's the case. But Mad Villain, yeah, come on, man. It's as good as everyone says. I'm not even spending any more time on that. Aquemini, Outcast, yeah, fair enough. Really solid, really top tier album. Oh, Hell Hath No Fury. You're preaching to the choir here, man. I feel like Let God Sort 'Em Out has really turned the tables for Clips, because they were always considered legends, but it seems like all of a sudden I'm seeing way more love for this, Lord willing, and their mixtapes as well, generally, this year, compared to what I saw a year ago. And I will accept it. I will accept it, because anything that shows love for Clips, I will be happy with. Okay, Lauryn Hill, the Miseducation Lauryn Hill, the quintessential, you have to have it, and if you don't, like, you've got it wrong. You know, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a hip hop head if you don't include this. I'll stay consistent. This is more of a soul album than it is a rap album, or an R&B album than it is a hip hop album. Yeah, she sings so much on this album. Her singing is glorious. Her singing is fantastic, and she's probably the best combination of voice and rap ever. I mean, who else can sing and also rap this good? Probably nobody else, really. Lauryn Hill is the top of that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know the percentage of R&B to hip hop or whatever this album, but she's singing most of the time. It's just not on the list for me. I just wouldn't put it here. I just wouldn't. I'm sorry, man. I just wouldn't. Okay? Do what, though? What a song. What a song. What a song. Rich Gang. Who are they trying to fool? Like, does anybody think this is a top 10 all time? I don't even think the biggest hardcore trap head is thinking that, bro. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. And was there even any other Young Thug album on here, actually? Like, we're not going Barter 6. We're not going to have Jeffrey. Am I crazy? Did I scroll past them and just not think of it? I don't know. But yeah, like, come on, man. Just stop it. They know what they're doing. Nas Illmatic, yeah, as good as people say. I can't really get too mad at that one. Similar to Mad Villainy, really. Supreme Clientele, personally, nah, this is not a top 5 all time. I don't see that at all. They had Wu-Tang Clan at 19, and then they've had Raekwon at like 15 or something. Like, I'm sorry, man, but like, the Wu-Tang album is just so much better than all the solo releases. I don't know why we keep trying to pretend that it isn't. It is. It is. Stop it. It is. Juvenile 400 Degrees. I just have nothing to say. Why is that top 3, bro? Stop it. Tupac, All Eyes on Me. Yeah, it's good. I'll say that. Again, just top 2 all time. I get it. Like, I'm probably in the minority saying this because I know, like, people adore Tupac, but again, it just feels, I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel like I have to include it just because it's Tupac. You know, I said all this when I made my top 50 rappers of all time, and I just went with how I felt. I just went with my picks, my feeling, and there were comments being like, "But you got to have this person," and I was like, but on the metric you're including, personally, no, it's like how I personally feel. But anyway, their best rap album of all time is Mobb Deep's Infamous, which is an interesting pick. I mean, yeah, I can't get mad at this one. I think out of the top 4, that's easily the best release there. It's obviously not better than Illmatic, though. Again, I don't think... I mean, I don't know. Is that a conversation? The Infamous versus Illmatic? I feel like most people would probably say Illmatic. But yeah, I'm not mad at this, really. It's quite an unexpected pick. When you look at their list and you end on this one, it feels a little like, oh, wasn't expecting that. But it is a really good album. And that's going to be it from me. I apologize for how dark it's gotten. I recorded this when it was light, and then now we've slowly started to get dark. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on this list, how you feel about the things I said. Do you agree with me, disagree with me? Let me know. Do subscribe for more videos like this as well. If you want to see more, I can always bring more content into the mix similar to this when the lists come about that I can react to. And yeah, if I said anything crazy, remind me what I said. And have a good day. Goodbye.